Hello students, the topic of this video is Introduction to Ratios. Let's say we have two quantities x and y and let's consider them as two baskets. Now in the first case we have the same quantity in the two baskets. In that case what do we say? X is equal to y. Now in the second case the number of apples in basket x is greater than that in y. So here what do we say? Quantity x is greater than quantity y. In the third case, y basket has more apples than x basket. So in this case, what do we say? X is less than y. And in the fourth case, number of apples in basket x is 2 and in y is 4. In that case, we say y is double of x. In the last case, number of apples in basket x is 5 and in basket y is 3. So we compare them as x by y is equal to 5 by 3 or x is equal to 5 by 3 times y. If you notice here, in the first three examples, we have compared the quantities x and y using subtraction method. That is, we have subtracted one quantity from the other. And in the last two examples, we have divided the two quantities by saying x by y and we use the word times. For example, here we say x is equal to 5 by 3 times y. But in the subtraction method, we use the words equal to, greater than or less than. Now let's look at subtraction and division methods in detail using examples. This is one example where age of A is given as 15 years and age of B is 30 years. So by subtraction method, what do? We subtract. So we subtract the greater with smaller and we have 15. So the question is age of A is dash years lesser than B. So we can say age of A is 15 years lesser than B. In other words, age of B is 15 years greater than A. So here you can see we have subtracted one quantity from the other. Now let's do the same example using division method. In division method, we divide one quantity over other. So age of A by age of B will be 1 by 2. Similarly, age of B divided by age of A is 30 by 15 is equal to 2. So in other words, we can say that age of A is half times age of B. Let's understand subtraction division method with one more example. So the second example is given weight of A is 40 kilos and weight of B is 60 kilos. So in subtraction, you subtract one quantity from the other. So what do? 60 minus 40 is equal to 20. So we say weight of A is 20 kilos lesser than B or weight of B is 20 kilos greater than A. Now let's work it out using division method. So weight of A divided by weight of B. What is weight of A? 40 divided by 60. So this is 2 by 3. Similarly, weight of B divided by weight of A is 60 divided by 40 is equal to 3 by 2. So in other words, what can we say? Weight of A is 2 by 3 times weight of B. So as you saw here, in terms of subtraction method, we use lesser, greater and we subtract one quantity from the other. And in division method, we divide one quantity with the other and use the word times. So this division of one quantity over the other quantity is called a ratio. So what is a ratio? A ratio is a relationship of two quantities obtained by dividing one quantity by the other quantity. So how is a ratio expressed? A ratio is expressed as x is to y. So x is one quantity, y is another quantity and these two quantities are separated with a column. The one quantity before the column is called antecedent and the quantity after the column is called consequent. So let's say if I have a ratio of 5 is to 7, can you say which is the antecedent and the consequent? Right, 5 is the antecedent and 7 is the consequent. Now there are few rules that you have to keep in mind while dealing with ratios. So rule number 1, a ratio is dimensionless and has no unit. If one quantity is in length, the other quantity must also be in length. If one quantity is in mass, the other quantity must also be in mass. So when you have to find the ratio, both the quantities should be in the same unit. Now let's see an example. Here we have weight of person A is 50 kilos, height of person B is 145 centimeters. Now if I ask you to find the ratio, can you find? No, it is not possible to find the ratio for this example. Why? Because the units are not the same. If weight of person B was given to you, you can easily find the ratio. And if height of person A is given to you, you can easily find the ratio. So both the units should be same. 1 in kilogram, 1 in centimeter. In that case, you cannot find the ratio. Rule number 2. The two quantities must have same unit of measurement. If one quantity is in centimeter and the other in meters, before calculating ratio, units of both quantities should be converted either to centimeters or meters. Now let's understand this. Here is an example which has age of person A as 1.5 years and age of person B is 10 months. Are these two quantities in the same unit? No, one is in years and one is in months. So you have to either convert years to months or months to years. So for age of A divided by age of B, you have to convert either years to months or months to years. Let's convert years to months. So 1 year is 12 months and half year is 6 months. So this gives us 18 months. Now let's substitute it here. Age of A is 18 months divided by age of B is 10 months. So this is 9 by 5. So the ratio is 9:5. Coming to our third rule, the value of the ratio remains unchanged in both the antecedent and consequent are multiplied by the same non-zero number. So let's understand this using an example. The question is to multiply the ratio x is to y is equal to 3:4 by 5. So when such a question is given, you have x by y is equal to 3 by 4. Multiplying the ratio means multiplying both the antecedent and consequent with the same number. So we multiply the antecedent and consequent with same number. So we have 15 by 20. So x is to y is equal to 3:4 is same as 15:20. These values remain same. The values are not changed when both antecedent and consequent are multiplied with the same number. Rule number 4. A ratio must always be expressed in its lowest terms. Let's understand this using an example. Here the length of A is 64 centimeters and length of B is 48 centimeters. And when I say to find the ratio between length of A to length of B, it is 64 by 48. But is this ratio in its lowest form? No, it is not in its lowest form. So to find the ratio in its lowest form, we have to find the LCM of these numbers and divide them. LCM of 64 and 48 is 16. So we divide 64 by 16 and 48 by 16. We have 4 by 3. So the ratio is 4:3. Now the ratio is in its lowest term. Coming to the last rule, rule number 5, the terms of the ratios are written in a definite order. Now let's understand this using an example. We have weight of person X as 7 kilos and weight of person Y as 3 kilos. If I ask you to find what is X is to Y, you can say X is to Y is 7:3. Now if I ask you to find Y is to X, what is Y is to X? Y is to X is 3:7. X is to Y is not equal to Y is to X. When X is to Y is written, it is always 7:3 and 7:3 is not equal to 3:7. So this is what it means by saying that the terms of the ratio are written in a definite order. You should never interchange 7:3 to 3:7 because these two values are different. Thank you for paying attention. See you in the next video.